Hi, this is Bruce and welcome back to my shop and look at some of the jobs we're going to get kicking off on the weekend. The first one is this repair to this transfer case that's got a broken section out of the where the sump plug goes in. It was stressed a little bit by a young apprentice, so we need to shape this up and build it back up again and machine it and drill it out and tap it and so forth. The second job we've got is to do with this Bentley 1952 Bentley ring gear. It's not this particular car, but it looks very similar to that. And this ring gear's had quite a bit of history, obviously, and there's quite a bit of work to be done on it. The lead. Let's see if we can come in a bit closer. It'll still be in focus, hopefully. So yeah, the lead's been chewed away quite badly, and what I need to do, I'm not going to make a new one. It's too expensive for the client. She's not prepared to pay that sort of money. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and rejuvenate this to a point where they'll get a few more years out of it. I've noted that the wear pattern on the teeth, I believe there's still some a little bit left in the tooth that hasn't been completely engaged in by the pinion. So what I'm going to do, one job is to cut, is to machine back this land, pull it back, and then gash a new lead onto this tooth so that the pinion's going to operate. The second item is that of note on this ring gear, around here somewhere, is these teeth here that have been sort of repaired in the past, and they've taken a hell of a hammering, and they need to be redone. They're not suitable here, so I'm going to have to cut out parts of these teeth and make new teeth, or make partial new teeth and that. So what so the first instance, what I'm going to do is I'm going to machine the land back. The second thing I'll be doing is then welding up those teeth that need to be welded up, and then I'll trim them back to the same profile as the other ones, and then the last act will be to make a new start to it, a new entrance. So I have an involute cutter. This one is a number 1 8DP, 14.5 degrees, 135 teeth. So this is 115. So this is close to rack. And it's the closest I can get for that profile, and I'm pretty happy actually that the profile will be fine for this job. Now, in order to be able to index this around, I'm using a 16-inch. I'll pan that out. I have a 12-inch indexing table, and I've got this 16-inch one, which I bought second hand at an auction for very little money, and I have a sneaking suspicion that's been out in the rain, and I'm just about to pull it apart, and we'll have a look inside of it. I think there's an ingress of water there because it does have a few hard spots in it. So I've already taken the base plate, locking plate off, and I've disengaged the pinion, and that's now in the disengaged position, and I've got it ready to be lifted off. Now, to index this, I've got two options. The plate, the single only plate that we've got is this one, which starts at 24 holes on the plate up to 47 or 48. I have another 2, 4, 6, 8. I've got another 9 plates, and the only one I've got which has got a 23 hole belongs to my BS0, and that's far too small to fit on the pinion arrangement there. So I've got a couple of options. One option is I can flip over this plate, set it up on the BS1 on the mill, and drill 23 holes in it, because these are not through holes. So I drill 23 holes in it and use this plate to do the job. The other option I've got is to make a new one. And the third option, which is getting more and more attractive to me, is actually to freewheel the indexing plate, not to engage the pinion at all, and to set up some sort of an indexing arrangement, like for instance the tailstock of one of the units, and make an indexing arrangement like that, so that we can lock that in place, and then once that job's done on whatever tooth we're working on, we retract the bolt, and we turn it one more turn, reset it into a detent, and carry on like that. And that's looking more and more attractive to me. But first things first, I need to get this thing apart, clean it up, re-oil it, and get it into work, and flip it back over and get it into working order. Make my final decision in regard to how I'm going to index this, and then get on with the job. Now I'm probably going to have to nod the head, as much as I hate doing it. I'm probably going to end up here with the angle tool, the angle head, and also nodding the head. So I haven't got a problem with the profile. I can pick that up with this cutter, with the involute cutter. I've also got this 60-degree cutter, which may be what I'll use to gash that lead. Use that to cut the lead on the edge here. So first things first, I'll put these items away, and at the same opportunity, what I can say also is I want to thank all of you people out there who have been wishing me well. I'm feeling a bit better, and not 100% by any chance, but still much better. So we'll get this casing out of the way. Like as usual, we've got 4 or 5 jobs on the boil, so we'll be doing bits and pieces of each one. But I'll indulge now in while you're standing around here watching this, I'll lift the top off, and we'll have a look inside and see what we're actually up against here, in order to get this back on track again. There we go, we've got that. We'll swing that aside, and as I suspected, lots of gunk in there. We'll come in a bit closer. Lots of gunk. There's water in that oil. So, but everything else looks fine. At least there has been plenty of oil in there. So I'm going to go ahead now and clean up both sections of the table, get it up nice and smicko, and get some oil in here. And I use hydraulic oil because that doesn't have a problem with oxidizing, and we'll get this looking the way it should. I think because this is such a this particular table is, I would hazard a guess, I don't know the brand because the brand label is gone, but it's metric. All the bolts and everything are metric, so I suspect that this is a European unit, and that was the colour that was used in those days as well. And so I'd say this is something from Western Europe, because it felt very good anyway, but it still needs to get all that cleaned up. So I'll leave you with that for the moment, and we'll be back with the next section after I've given this a nice clean up, and put it back in. We'll flip it over, and you'll be able to see the table in its glory. We're going to have to clean up all the markings as well. I may not do I'll make a full mechanical one, but maybe not the visual one at this point in time. It just depends on how the clock runs down. So wishing everybody a good weekend, and we'll be back with more on this series of how we're going to go about fixing the aluminium casing, and also the getting this table up and running, set up, and how we set up the mill. So there's probably going to be 3 or 4 videos in this being made over the next few days until I get this job done. Thank you.